Good evening, everybody. So it's Wednesday, and yeah, I really missed not running last night. I know I switched my days around, so I still got a run in on Monday, which was a really successful run. The previous video I did actually, which I'll put a link to at the end of this video. And so tonight is the easy pace, and I normally set myself up for an 8k. I will be doing 10k just because I have a perfect route now that I've established over the last 2 weeks, and it just makes sense to kind of do the loop and come back home, because either way, I either kind of run 5k and run back in reverse, or I can just do the loop, take it to 10k and be more or less at the doorstep. So that's what I choose to do. Plus it has a combination of some slight gradients and a few hills, and it's a good run to do. There's a little bit of a test on it as always, and there's about 2 kilometre stretch where until the point is very, very well lit due to traffic and due to general street lighting, but there is a stretch where it is dark, completely dark, due to lack of traffic, which means I'm solely reliant on my head torch. It's always an experience. It's something that I've learned to kind of enjoy, and I'm just getting obviously more used to it the more I do it, as these things tend to be. The more you do it, the better you get, etc., etc. Now, I actually got home early from work today with the intention of heading straight out whilst it was still light. Now, don't get me wrong, it was still a bit gloomy and a bit grey, but it was light. However, we then had a downpour which appeared from nowhere, torrential rain, people more or less forgot how to drive, and so therefore we had a situation where I was just stuck, so slow getting home. I checked the weather app and it more or less said that within an hour and a half, the rain would disappear and it would be dry again. So I made the decision that whilst I could have gone out in the rain, actually grab some food, relax for a moment, take it easy, and then head out when it's dry. Okay, dark and dry, wet and light, much for muchness, right? And whilst I'm sure it's a really valuable experience to run in the rain, I don't have a waterproof running jacket at the moment. I do have waterproof jackets, and then equally I've got obviously my windbreaker, which is great, but it's not waterproof and you get wet and you get cold. So yeah, I've decided to not endure that experience today. I'm pretty exhausted, late night last night, up early this morning, so I just thought, give yourself a chance. You don't need another test. Running in the dark is test enough, and the rainy run can wait until I've got no opportunity but to go out in it. Anyway, I will see you out on the road, and yeah, let's hope it's a good one. All right, it's time to go out. I was almost at the stage where I was getting a bit too comfortable, and golden rule is get yourself ready to go out the door so that you don't have to think about it too much. What I did do though is, you didn't see it in the previous video, but basically I was wearing all of my running gear except for my this top, my vest. So I was dressed for it and I knew it was coming, so there's no big deal. We're gonna head out now. The rain has stopped, and we'll just take it as we find it. I need to watch out for some puddles, obviously, but hey, let's do this. So as soon as I started running, I realised I was just far too hot, so I've removed my jacket, stuffed it in the back of this vest here, so a little bit uncomfortable, not the best, really. Didn't necessarily want to be running with like a hunchback situation going on, but there we go. I'm just under 3k in, feeling good, and before I left I actually grabbed one of the humour gels, so we'll take that on board around about 40 minutes. There's a lot of standing water. I've stepped in a good number of puddles, so my feet are soaked. Not the best shoe for waterproof, obviously, but holding up fine. Just past the course, but mild conditions, so let's keep running. Sorry I didn't film much. 55 minutes. I think I average around 5:32 per kilometre. Some splits mainly between 5:30 and 5:38, I think, around about that time. So yeah, really pleased to get another solid run. Felt pretty average when I started, just really laboured, legs were heavy, and as I just started to break into the rhythm, it felt so much better. Humour gels. Now, I took out the natural one with me this evening, and to be honest with you, I didn't have many high hopes for it. I just thought it'd be really bland and a bit, off. Sometimes these natural flavours they're a flavour in themselves, aren't they? But long story short, it tasted like one of those Cliff Shot chocolates that I used to love back in the summer. So, what a discovery. Really, really enjoying those humour gels. They go down really well. They tear pretty neatly, and what I mean by that is you get a small reservoir where the gel comes out. So, unless you tear at an angle, it can be a little bit touch and go as to whether you've broken the seal or not. But good Wednesday run, and the weather was dry all the way. Beautiful.